All right, and say what's your name?
Okay, Thomas Amrine.
And with
Oh, okay, I'm a strawberry grower in the Pajaro Valley, and I'm chairman of the Santa Cruz County Farm Bureau COVID Task Force.
perfect. So let's talk about the farm workers that you have being vaccinated. How did you choose them?
So one thing you have to understand is that the vaccine supply is very erratic, and it's very hard to predict. And so we got a call late last week that there would be vaccines available for farm workers, and that could we quickly establish a location, a site, a logistics, and actually identify who might those vaccines go to and schedule it on the behalf of Dominican. They reached out to us for that, and so that's what we did. So the way we did it was we have a pretty good grower list for the whole county, and Farm Bureau's been around over 100 years. So we sent something out over the weekend, and we were starting to get replies right away. And all we were looking for was head count. What was the head count that the employer had of people that were interested in getting the vaccine if it were ever available?
Yeah.
That's kind of where we started. We had way more. By Monday morning, we had thousands more candidates than we had vaccine
Oh,
even
wow.
by Monday morning. And then, so what we did was we had to cut it off at some point and say, okay, this is our pool. And then with that pool of people, then we made some allocations based on kind of focus first on the small growers, and then with allocations on the bigger growers. But what we were really looking at is what we're trying to do is get a core group of agricultural workers, and we kind of use the term ambassadors, they've been through the process, they've gotten the vaccine, there hasn't been a lot ill effects, they haven't the side effects, all of that, so that in a couple of weeks here in the spring, when we've got to do tens of thousands of farm workers, that we have this core group that's already been through the process, and they're able to speak with their friends, their other coworkers as they come in to help to alleviate whatever doubts these people may have about it, which we can get into what that might be about. But that's what this is about. So the idea was to spread this limited amount of vaccine across all the different commodities in Santa Cruz County, and across as much as possible the geographic lay of the land in Santa Cruz County, even though obviously this is probably not very attractive to a lot of people way up on the north coast,
Yeah.
right? So it's the Pajaro Valley mostly, but we're covering lettuce, the vegetables, we're covering the berries, we're covering the livestock industry, we're covering the cannabis industry, the winery industry. It's all covered in this group of employees that's been vaccinated here today.
And then was there? We heard reports that there was a thing of mistrust with vaccination. Did you encounter any of that?
Yeah, so I think that I think what the way to express it, my opinion is that my experience is that if it's about the vaccine, people have pretty much kind of the same level of, there's a certain segment of the population that's just not sure. They don't really trust it, and I don't think that's probably any worse in this community than any other community. But there is more concerns about the process, because there's concerns about what kind of documentation is required, and where that's a problem for this community. This system we've created here, it's tell me what your name is, tell me what your birth date is, done. It's very simple, it's very clean. There's no need to produce ID. It's just give me a name and give me a birth date, and we're good to go.
So you're hoping that the people that are doing it right now realize that there's nothing.
That's correct. And if they go back
Yeah.
to if they know people or family members and they've got concerns about producing documentation or something that might happen, that, so often when you work with the government or the healthcare system, right, there's all this identification stuff, that has to, and so this system is really clean. It's just about getting the vaccine into people's arms. That's what we're trying to do.
And then when do you think the next? I know in 2 weeks they do it again to get the second vaccine.
Yes.
But when do you think the next round of vaccinations for the next group of farm workers?
So the Santa Cruz County Farm Bureau does not have any visibility or anything to do with vaccine supply chain. We know nothing about that. We have no visibility to that. So whatever would happen here, if this is to happen again next week, that'll be
It's all about dignity, right?
coming from them, correct? And I have no idea what they wouldn't probably know either, to tell you the truth, because of the supply chain situation. But what we've proven is on very short notice, within just like a couple days notice, we can go from zero to vaccinating hundreds and hundreds of people a day right here in Watsonville. So we can do it when we're asked to do it. And we have the name list now. Of course, now we're still accumulating more and more candidates. So that's an ongoing process, in the hopes that we can do this again.
That's perfect. If,